I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2026. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2026. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Karlovic.
Here.
Councilman Boyle.
Here.
Councilman Finestrella.
Here.
Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Piper.
Here.
Councilman Scurries.
Here.
And Councilwoman Giordano Picerno is excused.
Everybody's like, where did that come from?
I'm like, where's he? Okay. Motion to approve the minutes of 2026 reorg, January 21st, 26, and January 21, 26, executive session.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Finestrella, seconded by Councilman Boyle. Roll call.
Councilman Boyle.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Piper.
Yes.
Councilman Scurries.
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Picerno is excused.
Okay, I have a proclamation this evening, National Wear Red Day, hence my red jacket. Whereas cardiovascular disease continues to be the leading cause of death among men and women globally, with statistics indicating that 1 in 3 women succumb to heart disease each year. It is critical to raise awareness about these life-threatening conditions and educate individuals about preventative measures to reduce the risk of heart-related ailments, thereby promoting healthier lifestyles within our community. National Wear Red Day, held annually on the first Friday in February, has been recognized as a day to emphasize the significance of cardiovascular health and the importance of early detection, prompt treatment, and ongoing research. We, the Borough of Kenilworth, believe that the community's well-being should be of paramount importance and prioritize initiatives to foster physical and emotional wellness. Now, therefore, I, as Linda Karlovic, as the mayor of the Borough of Kenilworth, do hereby proclaim February 6, 2026 shall be duly recognized as National Wear Red Day in the Borough of Kenilworth, and urge all residents, businesses, and community organizations to actively participate in this day. Wear red attire as a symbol of solidarity and support for those affected by heart disease, and as a visual reminder for others to prioritize their cardiovascular health. I encourage our educational institutions, healthcare facilities, and public spaces within our borough to dedicate resources towards promoting heart-healthy life choices, offering relevant information, and organizing educational activities centered around raising awareness about cardiovascular health on this significant day. By joining forces, we can create a united front against heart disease, inspiring individuals to adopt healthier habits and collectively contributing to the reduction of heart-related ailments within our community. Thank you. Finance report, Councilman Morrow.
Okay, a few things from the Finance Committee and finances in general. Our finance office and auditors have been working on our annual debt statement and financial statement. Both of those reports were filed at the end of January. For weeks now, our finance office, auditors, and bond counsel have been hard at work on the municipal bond sale. They recently had a ratings call with Moody's, and we are sort of sitting and waiting for our ratings outcome. Ken, thank you to you and the team for all that hard work. From a finance perspective, right now is budget season in the borough of Kenilworth and probably a lot of other municipalities around the state. Our CFO, borough administrator, and all the department heads are working up their numbers. There will be a lot more to talk about this as the weeks go on. Lastly, just a friendly reminder that taxes are due by February 10th without interest. And that's all from me tonight.
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Works, Councilman Boyle.
Thank you. The DPW is continuing snow cleanup, working daily on cleaning the snow. They began removing snow banks on the boulevard. During January, the DPW incurred 463 hours of overtime. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Fenestrella.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
For the month of January, the Kenilworth Police Department responded to 1,326 calls for service and 192 911 calls. There were 78 hours of overtime for the month. OT breakdown is 26 hours for scheduled patrol overtime, 12 hours for dispatch overtime, 9 hours for dispatch call-in, 28 and a half hours of SWAT call-out, 2.5 hours of municipal court. Kenilworth Police Department completed 68 hours of training, issued 234 traffic summonses, and made 5 arrests for the month. There were 24 sick days, 2 sick occurrences. There were 22 on-the-job injuries days. And Kenilworth Police received 32 flock hot list alerts from the stationary cameras throughout the borough. Message from the chief: the police department would like to remind residents to follow borough ordinance for parking during and after snowfall. Everbridge social media notifications were sent to residents about the snow. Kenilworth Police Department has issued dozens of summonses and towed vehicles in the last snow event. One illegally parked vehicle in the roadway causes a domino effect to the rest of the street, especially during extremely heavy snowfall. Municipal parking lots are not for private parking. Those vehicles also will be issued towed, and if they have any violence, if they violate the ordinance. We at the Kenilworth Police Department and Kenilworth DPW are working together to clear the roadways. Work with us to ensure everyone can drive safely on our streets. Do not throw private property or do not throw private snow into the roadway from your private property, and clear snow from your vehicle to ensure safe driving for you and other drivers. Please notify Kenilworth Police Department to report a complaint or nuisance, and we can't help if we don't know about it. Basically, the snow ordinance is pretty simple. The first snowfall of an inch, or address is an odd number address, very simple. If it's an odd number or ends in an odd number, do not park on that side of the street. Once the snow ends, what is it, Chief? Before you can...
2 hours after the snow ends.
You
Although
can,
I want to talk about the snow ordinance tonight. in our
but
workshop.
basically, that's what it is, and we need to follow those rules.
We've been very diligent about putting that on social media, Everbridge.
All right.
There's no excuse for using that.
We're going to discuss it tonight, definitely. Is that all, Councilman?
That's all I have.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, Councilman Scarice.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of January, total receipts from building department, $16,648. Breaks down $12,358 from building fees, $815 from state trust fees, $475 miscellaneous. Let's see. Road opening and foreclosure, vacant, abandoned, $500 each. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Piper.
Thank you, Mayor. The fire monthly report for January. During the month of January, the fire department responded to 40 calls. During these incidents, the fire department traveled 106 miles and utilized 187 man-hours. No rescue squad members reported at the time of this report. So during the month of January, the fire department and rescue squad completed 210 hours of training. The additional man-hours utilized are 269 administrative, 1,364 stipend, 19 building maintenance, 3 hours vehicle maintenance, and 31 rescue squad administrative. So we do not have the total calls, miles traveled, and man-hours yet for this month. And we'll have that next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Health, Education, and Welfare, Councilwoman Giordano Paserno is excused, and she does not have a report this evening. Borough Engineer?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing's really going on right now in terms of construction because of the weather. My office is working on this year's 2026 roads and CDBG for the remaining ramps in Kenilworth. And I believe Tony sent out an email to all the board members regarding the flood control project. And we're still doing our research to see if there's any representatives like still working on it. That's it.
Question for you on the ramps.
Yes.
Been walking around, well, not now because of the weather, but I noticed we have some that are deteriorating to the point where they're cracking
Yeah.
and there's pieces missing from them. I don't know if we have any pertinent crosswalks now that need ramps versus replacing the ones that are deteriorating. Is that part of the project?
That is part of the project. Each year we try to do, you know, we reach the point where there's at least some sort of ADA ramp in like 99% of Kenilworth, and we're kind of going back to the beginning again.
Okay.
The ones that were first done, that are now 15 years old, and now we're going to try to start redoing those, and they're on a as-needed basis.
Yeah.
We only do about 6 to 8 a year.
Okay. How are you finding out where they are?
Usually, like someone from my office, or I'm working, or someone from DPW who reach out and say, hey, this ramp really needs to be done, and we add that on for the next year's list.
Well, that would be good if you want to take a note of that, and if you notice it, jot it down, so we can start a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows what we're talking about, when you're at the crosswalks and little bubbles on the ground, those are the ramps we're talking about. And they're deteriorating everywhere. I mean, if anybody sees something, say something. I don't know,
Right.
Laura, if there's a way we could keep a list of all
If
this.
we can. Do that.
Because we spend a lot of money on this every year.
Anyone who finds it, just send me or Tony an email, and we'll just start adding them to a more comprehensive list.
All right, I'll do the same. All right, very good,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Are they that old? They don't seem that old. They're falling
You-
apart already, so maybe an updated
You'd be
version.
surprised.
You'd be surprised how old
you know,
some of
they-
them are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are like at least,
2008 or something, I think it's
Yeah.
started.
yep.
Yeah.
They
Time
take
goes
a count
quickly.
at
You
a
don't have
time.
to wait for the public portion of the meeting. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Borough CFO.
Thank you, Mayor. As Finance Chairman Morrow mentioned, taxes are due. Please get your payments in. You have until the 10th without interest. We are going full force with the budget now, so hopefully we'll be able to schedule some meetings in a week and a half to 2 weeks and get moving with that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Borough Attorney.
No report for the public, Mayor.
Thank you. Oh, do we have an executive session this evening?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
Certainly
thank you.
not believe it.
Okay, thank you. Borough Administrator.
In regards, I just want to kind of circle back to some of the things the other departments have been speaking about as far as notifications and the snow events that we've been experiencing. The Everbridge notification system is not just robocalls, it's also texting. So please, and all of our residents that are very tech savvy, I know you like your instant gratification, so you can always go to the borough website or the borough Facebook page and see those notices, but you can also go to Everbridge, register, and just receive a text as opposed to a robocall. Personally, I can't stand the robocalls, so texting works for me too. So I understand you are my people. Right now, I'm looking into applying for funding through the New Jersey DCA LEAP grant, the Local Efficiency Achievement Program. Grants provide direct support to advance the efforts of shared services in all local governments. Tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting with the DPW, the Borough Engineer, and PSE&G to discuss options for expanding the decorative lampposts and banner pole installations along the boulevard. If anyone is interested, I do have AmRev 250 challenge coins and tickets for the February 26th wine tasting event. Please see me after the meeting. Both are moving pretty quickly. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And that wine tasting is, I'm going to repeat that, February 26th at La Griglia at 6:30. It's $40 per person. You can sign up here at Borough Hall. Or you can see Paulette at the Senior Center or Shirley Maxwell at the Senior Center.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 26-68 through 26-76.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Fenestrella, seconded by Councilman Piper. Roll call.
Resolutions 26-68 through 26-76 have been approved by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Fenestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
Councilman Scurries?
Yes.
and Councilman Giordano Cristiano is excused. Motion passes.
Yeah, I'd like to have a motion to open the floor to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Motion made by Councilman Piper, seconded by Councilman Morrow. Anyone from the public wish to speak? Anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth?
Hi,
Hi.
Joey Grimaldi, 34 North 14th Street. Well, it's kind of for the good welfare of Kenilworth.
Anything you have to say is for the good.
I don't like the new governor. She has very anti-Second Amendment bills that she's proposed, and that she'll probably be able to pass with a supermajority Democrat Assembly and Senate, and she wants to ban AR-15s, semi-automatic rifles, and she also she's bad on the Second Amendment. In this year of our 250th anniversary, if we didn't have brave men and brave women that had firearms, we'd be all drinking tea, and we wouldn't be America. And I believe very strongly in the Second Amendment. Not because I want to kill people, not because I want to do anything evil with it, but I believe it because, first of all, it's a natural God-given right for us to be able to defend ourselves, and firearms is a great way for us to defend ourselves. And I have a feeling she's going to be as bad as Governor Murphy was, if not worse. And that's all I'm going to say. I know a lot of stuff, but I'm not always the best articulating person.
We understand
for the
what you're
stuff.
saying.
But
We hear you.
anyhow, any Second Amendment people out there, join your Second Amendment rights groups and get involved. And if we don't speak up about it, and if we don't defend our Second Amendment rights, it's going to get taken away. And that's a real thing. That's not just a phony fear. But anyhow, thank you for your time
Thank you.
and patience.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Grimaldi.
Anyone else like to speak?
Shirley Maxwell, 38 South 24th Street in Kenilworth. On behalf of the Kenilworth Historical Society, I want to thank you all for your approval for us to hold our annual soup tasting once again at the Senior Center on March 19th, and also for approval to hold the community-wide garage sale the first weekend in October. Both events have become very popular among residents, the soup tasting particularly among our seniors, and I just want to thank you. Thank you for allowing us to continue to hold that at the Senior Center. At the Senior Center, we have events going on and classes every day of the week now. And the schedule is posted monthly on the Borough website under Departments, Senior Services. And I wanted to just be sure to mention a couple of events that I think would be very beneficial to a number of seniors. On February 20th and March 6th, the United Way of Greater Union County is sponsoring free tax preparation for seniors age 60 and older with incomes of $67,000 or less. and that's for all Union County residents who are
Very nice.
of that eligibility. And then on March 18th, the state of New Jersey is coming in to do a property tax relief seminar on how to file for property tax relief. This was done last year. We had a huge crowd for that, and we expect the same again this year. And then we'll follow that up in July with they're coming back to actually help people file their applications. And that
great.
also was very helpful. So I wanted to make you aware of those things. And of course, we have our fun events, such as this Wednesday coming up, February 11th. Talina Capari, our pizza historian, is coming to the Senior Center to do a program, and we'll be enjoying pizza from our local pizza establishments in Kenilworth. So if you'd like to come to that, well, please, we always love to have you come to the Senior Center and join us for those kinds of things.
What time is that?
It's at 11:45,
On February 11th.
February 11th, yes. I did want to mention that the AMREV 250 committee also meets at the Senior Center on the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. We have a wonderful committee comprising a cross-section of the community, representing many different organizations who are planning events for the 250th anniversary, along with the AMREV 250 committee events, such as the one that was held last Thursday, the kickoff dinner at Angelo's Steakhouse, which was very well attended. And then, of course, as Laura mentioned and the mayor mentioned, we have our wine tasting at La Griglia. I brought with me a quantity of schedules of all the different events that have been scheduled this year thus far, not only committee-hosted events, but events that are being hosted by the various organizations in Kenilworth. There are educational events, fun events, paid events, admission-free events, and we really wanted to make it a year that everyone could enjoy, that everyone would be able to participate in. So I will have those schedules with me, and I'll give them to you at the end of the meeting so that you can see where we are thus far. And I just want to thank our committee for the hard work they're doing, and I wanted to especially thank Laura and Colleen and Kathy at the Borough Clerk's office for all the behind-the-scenes work you're doing, creative work that you're doing to help make this year extra successful. So thank you so much for that. If any of you have any questions, I know that I had been made aware that there were some questions about how the financing and fundraising is being done. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Sure, I'll tell you the question I got that I couldn't answer, and I think your help and Paul that helped as well. There were fundraisers being advertised, and I got a very simple question. What are we raising funds for? And that's where I didn't have an answer, but it sounds like it's being raised, and correct me if I'm wrong, for the future events or for
Yes.
subsidizing the current event? Yeah,
Yes.
I think the expectation was there was a fundraising for something.
Oh.
I couldn't articulate it back to the
Well,
person.
our events are, as I mentioned, there are some admission-free events, a lot of them throughout the year, and then the paid-for events are being priced so that they cover the cost of the event itself. And then if there is any money that comes in over and above that amount, it's used to help fund subsequent events that the AMREV 250 committee is holding.
Well, it sounds great. I wonder if we can get a list up somewhere
Yep.
so folks can
She'll
see
give you
what's
the
an
list.
event, what's an admission
Yep.
thing, what's the fun ones, what's the educational
Yes,
ones.
I have-
Because I know my kids would rather the former, not the latter.
Yes, I was waiting on, actually, I'm going to send this schedule now. It's ready to send to Kenilworth Life to be published in that, and also in Tap into
Great place.
Kenilworth and Local Source. We were waiting on a couple of events to get a little bit more detail on before we actually published it.
At the Halloween, right, was the problem?
I understand that Boo on the Boulevard isn't
We don't
being
have
held
that.
on a Saturday, so
There's
I
a few
took that
dates we
off.
still have to, I think we'll talk at the next meeting and we'll
Oh, okay,
get those dates home.
okay.
I
But
think I have
then-
enough to be able to answer somebody who asks me that question, but I'd like to personally know about all the events going out
Certainly.
further past
Yeah,
February.
you'll get the whole list.
Yeah,
Well,
that's wonderful.
I have copies for all of you. At the end of the meeting, I'll give you a copy. And of course, we always welcome new ideas
That's right.
and new participation in the committee meetings.
Well, I'll tell you, if you got money left over, we've been talking about fireworks and stuff like that, right? So
We'd like
this
to
would be
have-
the year. So happy to chat about some things that we've already got going on at the town too, where if we want to look at fundraising for a boost and enjoyment, that would be great.
Yes, it's
And
all
side note,
about.
your garage sales, every year I wind up getting something I didn't realize I'd use so much. Last year I picked up a snow blower.
Oh, that was useful. That was smart.
Came home with a $15, what my wife
Nice.
called a hunk of junk, but it's been out there a few times.
Oh,
That's
wow,
great.
you picked the right time to get that, so. Yes, well, I love garage sales too. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you very much, Shirley.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Paulette Drogan, 215 Fayette Avenue, Kenilworth, New Jersey. I was asked to come and pretty much discuss what Shirley has kind of covered. If there's anyone that has questions, they really should go to Shirley, or she's the committee head of that. Because the borough really, although they're helping us in every way, really financially are not really involved. So we've got, and this document is ongoing and living. Like I've got on entertainment committee, and we're going to have the wine tasting. And by the way, it's a 50 people maximum. So if you want to go, you should get your tickets. I just checked today. And what I called a council person to say, we would like, this isn't a political thing, it's a community thing, and we want to see everybody there. So it's very important, especially if I'm running something, I want everybody to be there. So if there is any questions, just back it off to Shirley or myself, or whoever's running it. But this is a living document. Like now we're probably going to plan at the end of the year, someone wants a sock hop, not my expression.
Oh, I don't know.
Socks, come on, there's people there that want to dance. And it was for a very young person that used that. But it would be maybe a 50, 60, 70 with a band, if we could find somebody that's reasonable, or a DJ. And then someone else said, well, we would like a line dancing. So this stuff is going to continue,
Right.
especially on the months
Cornhole
when things are
event.
slow.
Paulette, will
Yes.
there be food at the wine tasting, or are we just gonna?
No, it's wine
There will
and
be some
hors d'oeuvres.
food. There will be
Hors
some
d'oeuvres?
food,
Yeah,
yes.
$40, it's a deal. And these restaurants aren't really making any money on it. We got, this gala was,
Right.
I mean, they didn't make money. And also we got the other restaurant, Lilia, who are not gonna make money. That's not what they charge. But but we also wanna support them, so maybe we'll buy a bottle of wine or something. It's to help our town and to celebrate lots of stuff. So, and you'll get the list, and a lot of stuff was ongoing anyway, like the street fair. There's people that were asking for, what about the car show? Can we extend it because more cars want to come? It's just going to be a lot of fun, and I want to see everybody go, not anybody's politicians. It's not about that.
Well, you said that to me also, that this was a political thing. I think Councilman Piper, you were at the event,
Pat,
the
and I was
mayor, I
just
saw
gonna
you at the
thank
event,
him.
Pat, I saw you with the pictures. I don't want anybody to think that there's some partisan anything,
Well-
especially with the
Remember what I
revolution of our
said?
country.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that's coming from,
Yeah.
Paulette, but I don't think it's appropriate.
I'm not going to go into that.
I'll be honest, I don't
Well,
think it is.
it's-
existing.
All right, okay,
All right,
Paula's
let's-
speaking, let's not go off
But, yeah,
topic here,
and
okay?
thank you for coming.
Yes, we had a good time.
Well, I'm glad you could come. But again, I called to please come out and support us. This was the kickoff, so.
Okay,
I
thank you,
And
Paula.
hopefully you'll show up at the one. And the meetings, Pat Well did come to a few. I know you just can't because you have a lot of meetings.
I think
But there's
Mr.
meetings
Piper
where
came as
everything is
well,
open and
Councilman.
free, and
Once,
please
once.
come. Our chief is always there, so that's it. I just had to say that. Oh, and I was asked to come here, so I didn't just pop in.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else, I'd like to close the floor for public discussion.
Second.
Okay, I have a workshop item I would like to discuss, and that's the snow ordinance.
Hold on, before that, can I add to my report?
Oh, I'm sorry, of course you can.
Yeah, I was having a problem with my email. I'd like to
Yeah,
finish.
of course. Councilman Scarice is going to add to his report.
Thank you. During the month of January, we had permits processed, 9, mostly to sale of commercial and industrial properties. 21 applications for construction permits, 26 applications issued. Certificates issued in January, CAs 15 and COs 1. The Building and Construction Department has been busy with the inspections and permit application reviews for 2,000 Galpin Oak property, also known as Merck or Nest. A few more new permit updates for that property as well have been issued in the month of January. When residents have a complaint on another property, we need that they kindly provide us with the address of the property they're complaining about so we can ensure that we are addressing it expeditiously. And that's all I have to add.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, work session, I would like to just comment on the snow ordinance. So I've been sitting in this seat for a little while now, and we've had snowstorms before. We've had snowstorms that were more significant than this past snowstorm before. And I've never received the amount of residents. I had a whole block send me a letter collectively that every snowstorm on their right side of the block, their curb, their snow is 10 feet of apron of snow. And it's not fair, where before it was alternated. Both sides shared the burden. I had another resident send me a letter that the people across the street parked all of their 4 cars in front of their house on the even side of the street. They live on the odd side. After the snowstorm, shoveled their driveway, crossed the street, cleaned off all their cars in the street, and moved their cars into their driveway, and now they have this huge mess in front of their house. Now, I know that we could talk, and I have a thought about something that I think might work better, and I think I, as a borough, should really encourage people to remove their cars off the street, if it's at all possible. I think we could take it as, you know what, if you can't remove your car off the street, because we're seeing houses with empty driveways, and people are parked on the street simply because they want their driveway to be easier to shovel. It's making it extremely difficult for the DPW. And, you know, it's a great concept if everyone gets out 2 hours after the snowfall stops, and the DPW is coming around again, which, by the way, they have to plow the whole town twice. But that's not happening because no one's paying attention. Ooh, it stopped snowing. It's 7 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I need to move my car. And the DPW is coming by again. Those cars aren't moved. They're not able to plow that side of the street. So I think that instead of this right side, left side, you have to move your car off the street. If people can't move their car off the street, I know there's a lot of towns around us that do not allow parking on the street. Some people put their cars on their lawn if they have to. You know what, if it's a bad snowstorm and it's for 24 hours, if you really can't remove your car off the street, because I think that will be the case for some people, why not have them come to Borough Hall, let us know, where they live, what hardship they have. Maybe we can offer a sticker to those people and allow, okay, you know what? You can park on the even side of the street because it's an unusual circumstance. But people are not taking their cars off the street. There's streets right now that a fire engine can't get down, rescue cannot get down, and we could be looking at this for another month. I think that we really need to look at it, and I agree with, there's a car on my street that hasn't moved since before the storm. It's still there. The big mound, the snow plow went around. It's not on my side of the street. And this house, they can't even access their front walkway. So basically, I just think we need to do something different. And I think the rule should be remove your car off the street. And like I say, obviously there's going to be situations for certain people, and I think we can make exceptions for those people. But I don't think we should be making I don't think what we're doing is working. And based on the amount of complaints that I received in the last snowstorm, and there's people actually in the borough expecting our DPW to come and clear the snow of where all these cars were parked off the road. Now, when are you coming? I'm like, well, we're not. That isn't how it works. They come around. So I don't know what thoughts anyone here has, but I think that we need to do something different.
If things aren't working and not practical, I would tend to agree. The reality of it is you have more congestion, if I'll use that word, on the south end of town than you do, say, on the far north end of town. So not all zones really are created equal. Your examples of the driveways.
I will tell you
think
that I
if you're
had more
down-
complaints on the north side than I did on the
Well,
south side, although I
north
did
side
get it
by the
both.
school and all that, it's just as congested, I think, over there.
It wasn't
where-
even-
Where you don't have all the driveway space
Well-
where you can get all the cars off. So I like your concept of you must remove the car, but I don't
remove
think
the
it's
car.
practical to think that all of them will fit into somebody's driveway, especially in those areas, by the school.
Well, where I'm
and the
talking
south
about,
end.
the area where the 4 cars were removed is in the area that you think that isn't an issue.
Mayor, I'm agreeing
Oh,
with
I
you.
know,
Can
I
you
know,
let me finish?
I'm just saying that they purposely did not use their driveway, even though they could have, because they wanted
Okay.
it to be easy to shop.
I was going to say, before I was interrupted, that
Sorry,
maybe
I
we need to look at
apologize.
this by zone, where if there is a chance to get your car into a driveway, that happens everywhere, and then still implement in the more congested areas of town, which, as you're saying, wouldn't have been where you are there, still giving folks the option to have the alternate side sort of approach. Because we've got to give them something. They can't just, it created its own problems to have people looking at the calendar to figure out which day I'm on, which side of the street should I be on. That created as many challenges.
Right.
So I think looking at it differently, maybe by zone could help, and I do like your requirement. I don't know how enforceable it would be by the police department that if you have space to use it, I just don't know how enforceable, how do you
Well,
prove
what
that?
do you think about that sticker? Because then the police, they would come to us, we would understand that they have a hardship, that they are unable to remove their car off the street. They can get a sticker, our police can go by and know, okay, that car is allowed to be there. They don't have an option. And it makes it easy for them. And I think it makes people really aware that, you know what, I have to be responsible when there's a snowstorm, because the person on the corner could possibly need the rescue squad or the fire department to be able to get down that block. And I think we have to think about that. I think, initially it'll be a learning curve for a lot of people, like, oh, I have to get a sticker now, or I have to have permission. But I think that ultimately, once that's ironed out, like other towns, specifically Garwood, Westfield, that don't allow street parking, they make it work,
Yeah, I guess, we'd still have the same problem of the emergency vehicles not being able to fit through if you have too many of these exceptions. Maybe, I like the exception approach, I like addressing the hardships. Maybe the answer is getting a lot, like allowing them to park in the municipal lots.
Right.
She's already looking at me weird on that one.
I got some locations, I was thinking making some municipal ones.
Well, it would have to be
Just abandoned
removed.
properties, I don't know what these people are waiting for. We were supposed to work on that blight too. So that's-
It could be, It could be municipal, but listen, that's where I was going with the sticker, that, I think if there's a minimal amount of cars, it'll certainly alleviate the pressure from our guys out there plowing. And they're able to clear most of the town one time. They don't have to come back and do one side of the street and then come back and literally replow the whole entire town, if that's even possible. And that would mean that everyone on the even side moved to their car, which is not what's happening. So I think that if it's minimal, it can be manageable. And then they can come back. I mean, obviously, we need our municipal lots plowed as well. So, I think that probably 90% of the people in Kenilworth have the ability to remove their car off their street, and with the help of their neighbors. And I know a neighbor of mine had an extra car for a little while, and her mom was staying with her, and when it snowed, we allowed her to put that extra car in our driveway. And I think that people will do that, and they will work together. I have a girlfriend in Garwood that doesn't have a driveway, and she has a neighbor that allows her to put, so I think we can make it work. I really do. And I think the benefits will totally outweigh the hardship.
I disagree. There's just you're too crowded in certain streets. Maybe, there's a lot of one families. Yeah, maybe they can do it. There's a lot of places, and the kids got cars, it's not gonna happen.
Well, then we could have those
We don't have the municipal lots.
stickers.
The problem is, nobody moved their car, whether they were going by the old ordinance with the odd even, or this, nobody moved their cars. Maybe because they haven't had snow in a couple of years, I don't know what they're.
Well, and maybe they couldn't get out and
Police used to
shovel
go
right
around,
away.
maybe
Who knows why?
They could move the cars. Plows coming. They used to do that, I don't know what happened.
I know
Maybe
my
they had to go back.
Elaborate if you're referring to.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can.
Yes, the chief is going to weigh in on this.
All right, just so you know, we wrote over 200 summonses for the month of January. And that's, considering the weather and everything like that, like I said, probably 200 of those were snow related. We went out of our way to try to move vehicles. The problem was the amount of snow, how it came down, and the amount of sleet that came on top of that.
Right.
Encapsulated a lot of these vehicles. That being said, having our officers go out there, try to tow a vehicle when it's covered in ice is going to be more of a financial burden to the borough.
Right.
Because we pull the car out, bumper gets ripped off. I've been doing this almost 30 years. I've seen many different ordinances get passed, no parking on every street, one on this day, I've seen lots of different ordinances. I've discussed with everybody on the dais of different options. I agree with the no parking, but there also comes a point where there's certain parts of town that are just not going to happen. We have, off the top of my head, I can probably go 10 streets where there's multifamily homes with the amount of vehicles that they have, it's going to be difficult no matter.
Right, well, that's why I was talking about the sticker. Like, there will be streets that won't be able to
I
comply,
agree.
but if we can get 95% of the town to comply, and we just have a couple of streets, I think that the DPW, even if it's 10, it's better than
I agree.
50%
The issue I have
can
with
handle
the
that a little
sticker
better.
being on a vehicle, if it's snow covered,
You won't see
you're
it.
not going to see it. I like to have.
I see
the
that, that makes
ability
sense.
of, like a zone, listen, we know which parts of town has the biggest problems. If we want to do something more with this, I would love to pick your brains.
Yeah, I
let you
think
know
we
from my
should
experience.
maybe have a meeting
I
and get a
really would love
committee
to sit down and
together.
talk to you guys about it, because ultimately, as Greg can attest, we were hand in hand working on trying to get these cars moved. We wrote so many summonses, we've done Everbridges, we've done multiple social media notifications. A lot of the problem is, a lot of people just, I hate to say it, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, there's cars I've driven by, I'm like, how do you leave your car out there so many days after? And I've gone in personally, look inside the CAD, see if the vehicle was issued. Yes, they were issued. People just don't care. And
Well, when we have someone that has a driveway, a big driveway, and they park all their cars on the street.
1,000%.
Because their curb is getting plowed right to the curb, and there's, you know, we know that that's a very selfish.
As you
yeah.
said, I know you've been reached out by a lot of people, my phone
Yes.
is still ringing over things. And I can tell you, I've reached out to every single one of those people that have called me,
Mm-hmm.
and it validated the fact I was asked by several council members, why I didn't see any tickets on this vehicle. Well, my guy's not gonna climb up a
Correct.
mound of snow, dig out through ice to try to put a ticket underneath the windshield wiper, because more than likely, when the guy comes out to clear, or the working woman comes out to clear out the snow, that ticket's gonna be caught in that snow pile. We've been issuing them and sending them in the mail.
That's
So what you're
great.
seeing is when cars are getting rid of, oh my God, I got $124 from this for snowbound, then those cars all of a sudden have to get pulled and cleaned off. We've had a couple people have used our municipal lot as their own personal lot. I have a problem with that. We have issued, we've reached out to people, come out and move your vehicle. Number one, it's registered to out of town, but the person's living in it's a commercial vehicle, it's like a pickup truck or something. I'll use that for example. They live on 21st Street, they're renting over there, that's their work truck, that's what he takes to work. So we contacted the business, I personally was there, made sure that they reached out to the person that is responsible for that vehicle. A summons was issued to that vehicle, and that person came out and cleared out the snow, so the senior center can have parking. I would love to sit with everybody and try to come up with something, but through my time on this job and experience, whatever we try to put together, there's always going to be a problem in certain areas. We have.
Right, I understand that.
And if we can address.
Trying to
Yes, well, I
eliminate
agree.
most of it.
Mayor, with all due respect, I love the opportunity to sit down and try to figure out something that will work, because we have icebergs in some of these streets. We have
Yep.
so much snow. Where are you gonna put them? We can't even put them on people's lawns. There's just.
Nowhere to put it.
So,
Or
I do
every
come
other
in-
house has a driveway.
I do commend.
They have driveways going all the way to the back, too, on that
I
street.
do commend, Greg Bushine.
And there's no cars in them in the snow.
And we've been hand in hand, he's calling me, Paulie, I need this, Greg,
Okay.
can we do this?
All right.
So we're doing.
So
what we can.
let's
I'll-
continue this conversation.
I definitely think
All
we
right,
should.
thank you.
Would that be legal to make, can we find somebody that did that has a driveway and didn't use it? There's a difference between somebody, my driveway's filled, I still got an extra car too. You have the street, and the guy, that's egregious. That in a snow emergency, you're gonna leave your driveway, that guy should be fined, I don't care.
Well, what about, you think one of your neighbors, have you asked if you could use their driveway? I mean, I certainly would let you park one of your
Depends.
cars in my driveway if you ever wanted.
You get along with your neighbor, maybe the neighbor's filled.
I mean,
too.
I would definitely
My neighbor
let
was
anyone
filled.
park their car in my driveway if they needed to. All right,
Yeah,
Greg,
well, we should definitely encourage all that.
I think that should be our message, at least that, like, please remove your car off the street. If you cannot do that, you must only park on the even side, which, listen, the even people are mad all over Kenilworth. I never had so many people, and we've had several snowstorms this year, sometimes we don't have any, over this even side. They're furious.
I don't know.
Someone's like, I'm watching the meeting and you better bring this up because the whole street signed the letter to me. So, you know, because they're getting the brunt because their front of their curb is never getting plowed. So, in a storm like this, it's a problem.
If the cars are moved, there's no reason for.
But they're not moved, that's the problem, they're not moved.
And they should
So-
knock on their neighbor's door. So
Well-
that's what I'm gonna have to do next time, because I was the only one moving cars. There were cars on both sides of the street,
Yep,
the whole
yep.
duration,
Yep,
and I'm thinking, why wouldn't they move?
right.
And they only could plow right up the middle, and that's all they did. Although I would
Exactly.
say, they came around today and they cleaned up, it's not exactly to the curb, but it's definitely way better.
Good.
Part, so we're still ongoing.
Did you want to add anything to this, Greg?
Yeah, the other problem, it's not just parking on the street. We have property owners, commercial and residential, they hire contractors, and they're literally putting that snow out on the street. Like, Fox Intermodal, they plowed across the street, they choked the one lane on 14th Street down to half a lane. Made it very unsafe for motorists, I had to go out there with a heavy machinery and push it out of the way.
Did we send them a notice of violation?
I'd have to look into it, I can't answer that. I know I reached out to the owner personally to advise him of the complaint,
Okay.
so that's something I'll.
If we get another snow, he's screwed.
Like, that's just, no, there's no excuse for that.
And then there was like a residential house on Washington Ave, right by 20th Street. They were coming out with a skid steer and putting it over by the firehouse. because the firehouse put their snow there. And that was trucking it down to one lane or one direction. I told them to stop, they stopped, came back, they put more snow after I left. These people just don't care about the safety of this town. And the undue burden it puts on our department, the extra man hours, the extra fuel, the extra wear and tear on our equipment, cleaning up after them, because I hate to say it, they're too cheap to get rid of themselves. You know, and it's just the truth of the matter. We had a lot of snow this time around, and no one was prepared
And
for it.
cold temperatures, so it's not melting. Yep.
And where I live, I can only put 2 cars in my driveway, so and they're more strict about it. They'll tow your car in my town, so you're parking on the front lawn. They don't
Right,
care.
right. Well, I know in Garwood, some people do that too.
Yeah.
Greg, just a quick question.
There were some residents that did that in Kennewick also, and I
Yeah.
told them, I said, I'm absolutely fine if you park
Right,
your vehicle in
right.
front lawn.
Now we got people putting chairs and cones out so people don't.
Yeah,
pull
I
out.
saw that on
That's
21st.
Well, now that's the next thing everybody's fighting because they dug out a parking spot and now their neighbor's using their parking spot. Like I said, I have more emails over this snowstorm than I've had on any other topic ever in 6 years.
I'm willing to send equipment out. We have a backhoe that we can use. We can use it in a plow-like fashion where we can push even the ice off the road if people clear the streets, but it's gonna bury the driveway again. And if
Right.
residents on an entire block are willing to go through that again, we will make that effort on where no one moved their cars. Like Newark Ave, 21st Street. But I'm only asking the residents to do that on their own. I'm not gonna ask the police, they've done enough.
Right, right.
You know, I'm not gonna ask them to go out there and, you know, call people up by looking up the license plates and asking them to move the cars. The residents have to come forward and wanna do that. They gotta come together as a community, say, all right, we're gonna move our cars for like a half hour to an hour,
Right.
this time slot, and we'll do it, but, you know.
Well, let's at least see about working on changing our message. Please remove your car off the street. If you can.
Yeah.
It must be on, I guess right now is the even side. We'll have to discuss that at another point. And when it stops, you have 2 hours to move that car, you're getting a summons. Like, I think it's like bad, it's
I
serious.
include the dollar amount, you said
Yeah,
124?
and you're gonna get a $124 ticket if you don't move your car.
Greg, I'm on the outside, and usually it's to the curb, but this time I got at least four.
No,
I can't park on my side of the street yet.
You're right.
I'm on the outside.
There was an issue with that. There was a logistical issue with that. I wasn't around, as some of you were aware, for that snowstorm, and I'm addressing it. It will be handled for the next snowstorm. I haven't notified my committee yet. This is something literally I've been talking with Laura about for the last 24 hours. I'm writing an SOP on that. So, and then I'll have my committee approve it, and if they approve it, great, then we can enforce it at DPW. But basically, it's just a guideline. So this way, everyone's on the same page as what needs to be done, everyone knows what to be expected.
And remember, when the snow gets past a certain point, it's really hard for someone plowing to know exactly where the curb is, because they can't see it. You know, so that's another thing for people to be mindful of. You know, these are people out there working really hard, and I think they're doing the best they can. And I know I talked to someone today, she puts like poles out by her curb so that the DPW, they knew where her curb was. I'm like, that was smart. But, you know, remember that if once the snow goes over that curb and they're driving down the road and everything's white, they're not 100, it's hard to tell exactly how, you know, they might be thinking that they're actually closer to the curb than they really are, you know.
I mean, what Joe's describing, I think it was a very wide gap from the curb to the Mill Street. I'm happy to hear that you're gonna address that, because the day after the storm, or 2 days after, when they finally opened the schools, and I had to bring my boys to the high school, it was tough driving down Monroe. I mean, you had 18-wheelers coming the other way, and I'm trying to get the kids to school with not much clearance. Not that I'm the best driver, but it made me shake a bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100%
But
right.
thank you for addressing it. I think that was something after the storm that I noticed.
Aside from recycling, we've been literally working every single day, working on these snowbanks, As I said in my report, we're looking on Boulevard. That's tough because we've got to work with the traffic, but Paul's team has been very helpful in that regard, letting us know when to come back, when not to be there, watching our backs so we don't get hit by other cars because we're using heavy equipment, blind spots and all that
I
stuff.
thought that was the county. I'm glad you put that in there.
Yeah. The one thing I want to ask council to consider to make everyone's lives a little easier, DPW included, is on municipal lots. I had a suggestion, jump in if you want. I thought about with municipal lots, if we offer free registration for permanent parking, so we can monitor the amount of spaces that are being utilized in our municipal lots, especially senior center. So this way, those spots aren't being monopolized by residents who just don't move their cars. So the seniors have, the ones who do drive there themselves, have adequate parking. You don't have to park on 21st, 22nd Street and walk. Sometimes I see the senior buses parked almost a block away because he has no room to park.
This is just on the daylight hours when you're allowed
Yeah,
to
no,
park
daylight
there?
hours, yeah. You know, I'm worried about, however you guys want to handle overnight, that's up to you. I'm more concerned about daylight hours there because, as Paul mentioned, we've seen contractor cars there. I see in the VFW a lot. Residents have municipal, other government vehicles that they drive home.
Yeah.
They park in that lot. I'm like,
Somebody used to
bring an extra car.
have their car covered, like it was their garage, and a motorcycle in the lot behind the
Yeah.
senior center.
I mean, I'm also proposing a dedicated spot in the senior lot. If you're familiar where the fence does that L shape, there's one spot there that's wider than the rest. I'm asking if council will consider proposing that as a dedicated spot.
That's
Just
getting
For the
repainted.
bus? Yeah,
Just for the
yeah,
bus,
that's
but,
changing.
and only during senior operating hours only.
There was supposed to have been a bus spot for that. I wish Tony was here, he's the one that drew up the sketch. They didn't paint that correctly, and maybe you could look at what Tony had as the sketch. I don't know, Christian, if you can get the sketch of the senior parking lot, how it was supposed to be painted, over to Greg to see if you still have the large thing there. I thought we did have a dedicated senior bus spot that was being carved out in there.
We have a sign with the hours, so this way people know not to park there at certain hours.
Yeah.
I just need approval to put it up.
What committee would that be, Mayor, to talk about the senior, or any municipal
I
lot?
guess Tony, the senior center, you know what, I'm not
It's all municipal
sure.
lots, I
Maybe
think,
probably
Greg's on.
DPW, I would think Pat's department, you know?
One more thing for you to
Well, I think that
It's worth
the
talk.
first order of business is, as Councilman Morrow said, is to, let's look at the plans. It isn't striped correctly, so let's not do anything until it actually is.
No, I'm not without
And
your
then, once it's striped correctly, I think putting up a sign is a good idea. And then we can take it from there, you know?
They should
and
look at the
then-
things first. If they paint it, then you have to, it's not what,
It's not wide enough.
yeah, you have to do it again, so we should take a look at, make sure that it's in the original plan, otherwise we do.
Okay.
I want to say it was, but Christian, if you could get the plan over, we'll confirm it.
Could you possibly send that plan in email to all of us?
It was in the
Christian?
ordinance we voted on
It
last
was,
year.
it was, but this
resolution.
way, if we have a fresh, you can open your email, you don't have
Yeah,
to look
true.
for it. Thank you, we appreciate it, thank you. All right, thank you. Anything else? That's it?
No, that is for now.
Okay. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the floor for public discussion, although we kind of did that already. It sort of went again. All right, does anybody else have anything to add? I know, so many people got up, I was like back on public.
Between now and the next
There you
council
go.
meeting.
Wow, you're cheating, I see, Councilman.
Happy Valentine's Day on the 14th for everyone. Enjoy Saturday the 14th. This Sunday also, Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy responsibly. And then the 16th is President's Day. Everyone have a nice President's Day weekend and holiday.
Very
And
nice.
that's it.
I
Thank
just
you
want to
very
thank
much.
Paulette for that event the other night. That was very good. Paulette and Shirley, Laura, Colleen, and everyone.
I second that.
Thank you.
I would like to thank the police department, who I've seen out every single day, not writing tickets. I'm watching them sort of direct traffic while your guys are out there removing snow from crosswalk and everything. The way you were talking about teaming up on this, I see it at all levels of your departments. So thank you for coordinating this effort.
If I may, you got the superintendent of DPW and the chief of police out there working together while he's in the background blocking traffic for him.
That's awesome.
We're doing everything we can.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate your help, everything. All right. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Oh, motion made by Councilman Finishaw, seconded by Councilman Scarice. Sorry, it was Scarice. I think he said it first. All in favor?
Aye.